We're going to move on to the second group of mysteries, which are the Luminous Mysteries. This is an example of all the pages finished, and I chose green for these mysteries, even for the Our Father beads in the cover. Just because I thought that was a good color for this, but you can choose whatever color you'd like. This is the title page. It's exactly like the joyful title page, so you can go back and watch that video, but it's really simple. The first page inside the book is the baptism in the Jordan, and it's just a real simple, it opens up and you can see Jesus' face. And there's, of course, the dove from the Holy Spirit. So I'm going to show you how to put together this page. Here are the pieces. I have some of them glued down just to make it a little bit faster. Like all the pages, it has the beads of the Rosary at the bottom. I glued down the big ocean or waves piece, I guess, at the bottom, which I cut from a darker blue, and the dove for the Holy Spirit. Once again, remember you're going to have the holes cut here to bind it, and to always leave room at the bottom for the Rosary. The first time I made this page, I didn't do that, and I had to have kind of my beads over this, so scoot it up a little bit. So to glue it down, this is one of the first times we have Jesus' face, and in the Luminous Mysteries, I use this a lot. So there is always a flesh-colored circle that goes behind the kind of beard hair piece. So to make sure that you get that in the right spot, I always glue these two pieces together first. So just put a little bit of glue kind of around here, and then stick your face onto it. All right, there we go. We're going to add eyes and a mouth with puff paint later. Then I'm going to glue my halo on here. I think I glued that up a little bit too high, so I'm just going to trim it. There, looks a little bit better. Okay, so the whole trick is that I want kind of Jesus to be behind the wave. Okay, I'll put that right there. Okay, of Jesus' face here. I'm going to glue down just one side of the wave. Actually, I'm going to scoot him over a little. I'm going to put my big glob of glue for the wave over here. Okay, and then the last thing is just glue down his face. And then see, it's kind of hidden. And there's Jesus. I'm going to actually be brave and do my puff paint now. One thing I wanted to tell you, when you're doing the eyes on these, I found that it always looks better if you do the eyes really far to the sides. I don't know why that looks better, but it just does. So, whoop, that's kind of a big one. I'm going to regret that. Okay, so there are my two eyes, really far apart. All right, so that is baptism in the Jordan. Okay, we're going to do the second page in the Luminous Mysteries, which is the Wedding at Cana. For this, it's a really simple one. We're just going to have two flaps that open up to show that the first picture is full of water and the second picture is full of wine. So cut two flaps, glue a pitcher onto both of them, and then glue two glasses down underneath where those flaps will go. The first one has water in it and the second one has wine. I already have my beads at the bottom glued down. Super simple. I'm just going to show you the very last step, which is gluing the flaps down. Put a strip across the top, glue it down so it's covering it, and do the other one the same way. Oops. Done. Okay, the next one is a little bit more complicated. This is the Sermon on the Mount, or the Beatitudes, or whatever you want to call it. So, you need to find it by yourself, please. So what it is there's simply just 3 little ribbons that have the words "Blessed are they" on them, so they can take them out, play with them like that, and then when they're done, they just tuck them right into that little pocket. So it's a little bit more complicated, but I'll show you how to do that. And once again, this has the face of Jesus on it. So here are the pieces. Okay, I've already done these because it's pretty basic. So I just cut a strip of felt. Each of these have 2 little squares on it the same size that are glued together. I wrote the word on the front with puff paint, and I glued them together with a ribbon in the inside and coming out just one side. So those are done. This will be the shape for my pocket. And here are all the pieces for Jesus. I've already glued down his body. Here is his face and his hair. I'm going to glue those together first, just like I did before. I put a little bit of glue on the hair. And then put the face shape behind it. Okay. And then I'm going to glue the halo right to that also. Okay, now this one includes a little stole piece. I'm going to put that on before I put the head on, and as you can see, the sides are going to kind of end up, so you want the bigger edge at the bottom. Put that just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to glue the head down, and of course I'm going to put my eyes and mouth on with puff paint once I'm all done. So that's down. And then I'm going to put the hands on. These hands are just a really simple shape. When you're gluing them down, remember thumbs up always, otherwise it's going to look strange. So tuck that right underneath the little sleeve. Okay. Now for these. In any particular order, stack them. Bring your strings down. I'm just going to tie a real simple knot at the end of these so they stay together. Okay. Now the next step, I'm going to glue my pocket down. Oops, actually before I do that, I'm going to glue these down. I know my pocket's going to go about right here, so I'm just going to put a glob of glue. Put that down in it. Now what would be really smart, I don't have it with me right now, so I'm just going to do it later. I would put another piece of felt over that just so that it kind of stuck down there a little bit better. But I'll have to do that later. So I'm going to make my pocket now. Just going to put glue around 3 edges of this. Put it over it so that I have a little place to store these things when I'm not playing with them. So they're there. And once again, I'll put my eyes and my mouth on. Put the eyes a little bit further set than you think you should, and it'll look better. So there we go. That is the Sermon on the Mount, or the Beatitudes, whatever you want to call it. Next up, Transfiguration. This one's really simple. Quiet element, of course, is just big globs of puff paint again, and we have the face of Jesus. This one's a little bit smaller, so it's a little trickier to cut, but use that process I showed you in the first video, you'll be just fine. Okay, and here are my pieces. Once again, I have a few glued down just to make it a little quicker. We put the mountain. So first of all, I just do this big light shining element on the back. Do the mountain at the bottom. Remember not to go straight at the bottom because you need to put your rosary beads at the very bottom. Okay, next up, take my face. I'm going to glue it to the hair. It's really little, so I'm just going to do a little bit of glue. do the body. Glue that down. Glue the head and the face down. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'll actually be brave and do my puff paint too. Do my 2 eyes. Okay. And then just gonna go a little crazy with the puff paint. I love it. I haven't really used puff paint since I was a girl. Making t-shirts I have never worn since then. So I kind of love it. I kind of like to do mine big and globby so that a kid can feel it a little bit better. All right, and that one's done. This is what, honey. Okay. And the last luminous mystery is the institution of the Eucharist or the Last Supper. Please go around the other way if you need to go back there. Okay, this one's real simple too. Okay, lots of pieces though with this one. We have a chalice, the host, a stalk of wheat, and grapes. So I want my chalice and my host to be on top, so I'll glue those down last. So put those to the side. The wheat is a little bit tricky to cut out, but I think it's worth it. So here they all are, okay? Put that on that side. I'm gonna set up my grapes, 2 leaves, and in retrospect, I think I would have cut out more grapes than this, so I'd encourage you to cut out more, but I'm just gonna go with what I have here. Okay? So just glue down the wheat and the grapes first. Once again, keep in mind that you're going to be putting the holes for binding on this side, so don't go too close to that side. And then I'm going to glue down my leaves first. Next, the wonderful glue strings here. Okay. And then last of all, I'm going to put my chalice and host down. Chalice and host. Okay. Once again, do a little bit of puff paint magic. Put the cross on here so it's clearly a host. Ooh, that's pretty globby. Next up, I'm going to put some gold paint onto my wheat, but of course, whatever kind of puff paint you have is great. And finally, I have some green. I'm just going to put some on the leaves. There we go. Institution of the Eucharist is done, and that's the last luminous mystery. So we'll come back and talk about binding these once I get through all the mysteries. But the next video is going to be about the sorrowful mysteries.